Uh, Continuing with the previous workflow, after we receive the building model, the next workflow starts with the inventor with all the appropriate project files and templates applied. We will then bring in the Revit model through AnyCAD. This gives me more control of the different Revit 3D views that I can bring inside Inventor. Initially, I will not consider the trusses, columns, and roof to start with my layout design. But as and when we progress through the layout design, we will then hide, unhide the other structural elements that will be required for the overall layout design process. The workflow that I follow is then use this building model in Inventor as a reference file in AutoCAD. By syncing the AutoCAD, now I have the reference model to start the design. Uh, this building model will be my master layout. Now different people will be working on different layouts, sub layouts, work cells. So I have a separate drawing files of each work cell, and then I will attach all the drawing files using XREF. Some of the equipments in this layout are missing. So using the asset library or the asset browser, that you can see on the right hand side, we can basically go ahead and search the uh, required asset for this. It's a turntable. It comes with a host of different types of turntable for different make. Go ahead, drag and drop and place it at the appropriate position. Now, these assets are intelligent in nature. So they are pre-populated with certain information. So in this case, if I want to change the index direction, I just go ahead and change it and automatically it updates to my new direction that I have given. Similarly, let's take a look at another work cell, which is again a complete welding cell. Now, this welding cell doesn't have any transportation system. So basically, we need to add a transportation system. That's a conveyor in this case. So we'll go ahead and select a straight conveyor, orient it to the way that we want it to be placed, and go ahead and join this particular conveyor with a curved conveyor. So again, you can go ahead and search it and you can get a host of different types of conveyor. We will just select the curved conveyor, go ahead and place it, and the way it connects to the adjoining or the adjacent asset is by connection links, which works in a rubber band kind of a fashion. Again, if you want to go ahead and resize and edit those assets based on your layer requirements, you can go ahead and do it. Now, uh, these whatever AutoCAD drawings will then be attached to the facility drawing using the XREF. So, particularly if you are working on large layouts, it is recommended that you use XREFs for your layouts. You can basically attach the different layouts. If there are multiple instances of those layout, you can then use your AutoCAD functions like copy and create multiple instances of those sub layouts into your facility layouts. Again, you can go ahead and finish attaching all the different layouts that has been created by various different people. So as a facilities layout, you can basically go ahead and attach it. And once it is done, you can basically provide the coordination or the insertion points and it gets automatically updated into the desired position. Also, one thing to note is it's always a good practice that you again go ahead and reload all the references of your XREF. So if there are any changes, it gets updated in your current drawing. And finally, I will attach this facility layout into my master layout with the building model intact there. So this becomes my master layout, which can then be basically be sent into Inventor. So now, once the 2D layout is ready, we will then open this model in Inventor. Due to its bidirectional nature, the 2D assets, footprints of the assets will be converted to a fully functional 3D model, along with all the building elements. Now with the 3D factory in place, we can now interact with the factory in a much better manner. In this case, we see that one of the curved conveyor is basically interfering with the other conveyor system. Now, there are functionalities available which can help you to reconnect those misplaced connections, and these connections are again fully parametric in nature. So as soon as I change, the conveyor system automatically resizes and updates itself to match the configuration of the uh, main one. Similarly, now let's take a look at some other configurations that can be changed in the factory environment with the 3D, which gives us more understanding of how the depth level of the entire assets. Uh, let's take this particular tool crib. There are multiple rack units, and again, with using the factory properties, I can basically go ahead and change the configuration of my racks to whatever is the requirement for me. Once this is done, we can also now start looking at how do we add some more information and make it much more smarter in nature. So in this particular asset, this is an older asset and there is a new version of the asset that has come into place. So factory design utilities basically lets us to even replace the existing older asset with a newer asset or a newer configuration of that particular machine by using the replace command. So I'll basically type out the machining center. I get a couple of different options to choose from, and I go ahead and select the appropriate one of the different make and manufacturer. So once the asset is placed, we can also add a lot of information, add additional information to make those assets even smarter. So by default, if it has been created by us, we can go ahead and basically change configurations of those assets. On top of it, there are also other intelligent descriptors that we can add, which can help us during our review process. So in this case, let's suppose I want to add certain technical specification or a data sheet pertaining to this asset. I can go ahead and add the link through which it gets recognized. So during my review process in Navisworks, I can basically hover over my asset and I get all the information. It could be data sheets, it could be other machine related informations as such. Again, once this is done, the next thing that we need to do now is basically make it ready for it to be reviewed in Navisworks. So again, the beautiful functionality of Inventor Revit AnyCAD helps us to now switch on all the other building elements that were not switched on earlier very easily, and I have my full building model with all the trusses and structural elements intact for the final review